Hello everyone, my name is Kieran. Welcome to the Spurs versus Manchester United match preview, and tonight we're going to be looking at the pre-season game which is taking place tomorrow afternoon. If you're in the UK time, kickoff is around 12:30 p.m. Of course, if you're there in Shanghai, I think the kickoff's going to be a bit later on in the day than that. But it's kind of the first big test on tour for Manchester United. The first time we get to see Manchester United play against Premier League opposition, and I'm looking forward to it because it can be used as a decent indicator as to how some of the new players like wan-bissaka, like Daniel James, are going to fare in this Manchester United team against some of the best teams in the Premier League, including Spurs. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. Please do, as always, make sure you leave your thoughts in the live chat, and also if you're watching as a video, leave your thoughts in the comment section below as well. Welcome to Krishna, thanks for joining already, really appreciate it. And yeah, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're close to 720 subscribers, so anything you guys can do to help us out with that would be absolutely flipping fantastic. So we're going to get into it, and the first thing obviously we always talk about on the previews is the opposition. So obviously Spurs, you guys will know a lot about Spurs being Manchester United fans following the Premier League. Spurs come into this one off the back of a 3-2 victory, to be fair to them, against Juventus, where the headlines went to Harry Kane with an unbelievable strike from the halfway line in the 93rd minute, winning it for Spurs. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo did score in that game as well, but a good win for Spurs in the pre-season. I think their pre-season has been going alright so far as well, but they're looking to build on a very good season last season, which saw them get to the Champions League final and finish second in the league without spending any money, which is absolutely ridiculous. So, you know, fair play to Mauricio Pochettino. That was why he was very heavily linked with the Manchester United job before Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over in the interim, and he did such a good job. So, obviously, Spurs, they're going to be a very challenging team to face, especially next season, especially as it seems as if they're making some purchases. Last season, obviously, we saw them spend £0. Already, they've spent a club record 60 something million pounds on one player, which is unheard of for a Spurs team, on Tanguy Ndombele, and a player who was heavily linked with Manchester United for a while as well. So he's going to be one to watch out for. Someone who is heavily linked with Manchester United. We can see whether we missed out on anything or whether we are happy that Spurs pile with their money instead of us. Welcome to Football Hub, and welcome Rashford. Thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it as always. He says, big game as we play in the same league and challenging for the same position. Of course, I mean, Spurs, I think, will be looking to make that step up, especially after the impressive season they had last season. But we are definitely both challenging for those top four spots. And I think at this moment in time, I think Spurs are in a better position to do that. But of course, the transfer window is still 16 days left of it. So, you know, hopefully we can do some deals in those 16 days and progress and, you know, get closer to being able to finish in the top four. Chris says, Juve first match of pre-season loss against Spurs. Yep, that's what I was saying. And obviously it was Juventus' first match, and we do have to take that into consideration. But it was a decent victory for Spurs, and even though it is pre-season and really the results of the matches don't really matter, I mean, they don't matter at all. Still decent win for Spurs, and you know, against a strong Juventus side as well, who saw Matthias de Ligt get his first start as well. So very interesting times in Juventus, and also very exciting times if you are a Spurs fan. Welcome TTX. He says, if we beat Spurs, that's all pre-season games won, which is interesting going into the start of the season. Exactly. Obviously, I think we do have, after this one, we'll have two more pre-season games, one against a Norwegian side and one against AC Milan. So we still have two more games left after this one. But you are right, if we do win this next one, that'll be 4 wins out of 4 in pre-season, which of course, you know, the result doesn't matter in pre-season, but still, it's nice to get a win. It's nice to feel those positive vibes that you feel after a win. So it's good, it's good. Welcome RB Comps as well. Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. He says pre-season don't matter for shit. Well, look, I think pre-season in terms of getting your players' fitness does matter, but in terms of In terms of the results, I agree with you. They don't matter at all. It's all about getting the running in the legs, getting 45 or 60 minutes in the players, and just gradually building up the fitness. That's all it's about, really. The Football Hub says De Gea, Shaw, Lindelof to Nzemi, and wan-bissaka, Pogba, Gomez, McTominay, Martial, Rashford, and James as his starting lineup. Very, very strong squad there, and I feel like there is definitely a possibility that Solskjaer is going to be looking to start a very strong squad in this game, considering as well we're playing against Spurs. So I think we are going to start with a very, very strong squad, which you can see from my starting lineup there as well. I've gone with a very, very strong squad. I'll be going through that in just a wee while. Phil Hub says, hi RB.com, do you do logo and channel art for free? Well, sort out yourself. Rash says, I will not get a haircut unless we sign Bruno Fernandes. He's a player I'm obsessed with. To be honest with you, mate, you're going to have very, very long hair by the end of this transfer window. I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. I feel like this sort of transfer saga surrounding Bruno Fernandes has stalled. Stalled pretty dramatically. So, especially in this heat, I would definitely recommend getting a haircut. But yeah. You do you. Welcome, Dazza. Thanks for joining as always. Really appreciate it, Daryl. He says, good evening all. Hope United win the game. Tough game to call. It is definitely a tough game to call, especially on pre-season. Maybe if we'd seen the first 10 games of the season before this, then it'd be a bit easier to kind of decipher who was the better team going into this match. But I haven't watched much of Spurs' pre-season, and what I've watched of our pre-season is very positive, but you never know really, and it's all about what happens on the day. But of course, the result is not what matters. It'd be good to win, but as I said, the result is not what matters on this occasion, I should say. Christian says, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic has confirmed he's leaving Lazio. Manchester United on $75 million deal worth compared to Bruno. I think it's an interesting comparison between Milinkovic-Savic and Bruno Fernandes. And I think if Milinkovic-Savic shows more interest in joining Manchester United, then I feel like, we should go for him. I feel like we should go for the player that wants to be there the most. And I think even though probably we're going to pay about 10 million more for Milinkovic-Savic than we are for Bruno Fernandes, I still think if Milinkovic-Savic really wants to leave Lazio and really wants to come to Manchester United, we can't miss out on that. We cannot miss out on that. Welcome, Patrick. Thanks for joining. He said, did I miss anything? You haven't missed anything, maybe just talking about the general game. Talking a bit of transfers at the moment as well. A bit of Milinkovic-Savic, people like that. The Football Hub says, Rom is training by himself. Yep. I remember I did see that. Romelu Lukaku training by himself at the moment. Not sure whether that's because he got a slight injury or whether that's to do with his move to Inter Milan. Who knows at this point? But maybe he's trying to push a move. Maybe he is. And maybe there's stuff we don't know being reported. So, who knows with that one. I feel like Lukaku, if he doesn't leave this summer, he'll definitely leave next summer. So it's only a matter of time, in my opinion. And I just saw there, remember, Patrick said on 20 Sports, he started a new channel. Make sure you do check that out. Really did enjoy the video he put up on, the video he put up. I really, really did enjoy it. So please do make sure you check out 20 Sports if you haven't already. Really, really good stuff on there. So, obviously, it's a pre-season game and the result doesn't matter. So in terms of players I want to see on pre-season, because it's all about really, for me, the young players getting an opportunity in the first team. And one of the players I'm really looking forward to seeing is Mason Greenwood. He's been on fire these last two games. Last game he became almost an internet sensation with that goal. So brilliant. And, fair play to Mason Greenwood. Hopefully continues his goal-scoring streak tomorrow against Spurs. It'll be really, really encouraging to see some more ferocious, really, really calm, composed finishing by Mason Greenwood, because that's what we need from a striker, and he's showing a lot of good signs for the future as well. So fair play to Mason Greenwood, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him play, and that's why I'm thinking potentially he might be starting the game tomorrow. That's why I put him in. Obviously, I've gone with Rashford and Chong up front. I will be getting onto my starting lineup very, very shortly, but you guys can already see it there as well. But the pace of our front players at the moment, with Daniel James, Mason Greenwood, Tahith Chong, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, the pace we possess is frightening. And if we can actually use it to its fullest potential, we could really, really, challenge for the top 4 spots and cause Premier League defenders absolute nightmares. But at the moment, and especially from what we saw last season, it's not being utilised properly. So I hope that's one thing that does change. Welcome once again, Killer Clutchy Gaming. Thanks for joining. He says, if we don't get Bruno, they ain't getting another penny out of me for good. Woodward can shove his merchandise up his bony arse. Well, I'll tell you what, if we don't get Bruno Fernandes, I think there'll be a lot of people that are feeling like you, Killer Clutchy Gaming. And I, for one, would be very, very pissed off. I think he's someone who just fit that United mould. He's what we need at the moment. And also, Sporting Lisbon aren't going to reject a bid for more than 50 million. They're not going to do it. So why don't we just do it? I don't understand it. I don't know what the complications are, but we need to make that happen. Rashford, don't worry, mate. Go and do what you got to do. I'll see you in 12 minutes, as you say. The Football Hub says, everyone head over to my channel to see my Harry Maguire early career breakdown. Yeah, make sure to check out the Football Hub. Really, really good stuff on his channel. He also made a video asking the Colchester United players to say sub to the Football Hub, and I did actually watch a bit of that. Really, really good video. As I said, make sure you do check out the Football Hub. He's in the stream right there. Make sure you check out his channel. So yeah, Krishna says, yeah, I agree with Rashford Jawara. Rashford says, I don't want to say this because I love Bruno Fernandes, but Milinkovic-Savic is a player with quality. Simply incredible. Of what I've seen of him, he looks very, very good. I mean, both players, really. I've seen bits and pieces. I don't think I've ever seen them, play in a full 90 minutes, except maybe for their national teams. I haven't really seen them play a full 90 minutes for Lazio or Sporting Lisbon. So, again, my judgment might be a bit blurred, but I'm still potentially looking forward to it. Looking forward to hopefully signing at least one of them, because if we come out of this transfer window and we don't sign at least one of them, I think it's not looking good. The United fan base, the pitchforks and torches will be coming out. If they haven't already started to come out, I have to say. Krishna says opinion about Demiral. I did have a look at Demiral, and he does look a decent defender. He looks a decent backup option if we don't get Harry Maguire. It's looking like Harry Maguire potentially won't be coming to Manchester United. It's looking like that deal is going to be, kind of on hold for the moment. Hopefully, we see some transfer developments happening very, very soon. But Demiral does look like a decent backup option. Probably be a lot cheaper as well. So hopefully we see that, and I think Demiral, if we don't go for Harry Maguire or even Alderweireld or Koulibaly, anyone like that, Demiral would be a decent option. So of what I've seen of him, Krishna, he looks very, very good, and thank you very much for bringing that up yesterday on the stream. Really, really good point. Welcome to Red Army MUFC. Thanks for joining, man. Really appreciate it. He said, had a busy start to the day. What did I miss? You didn't miss anything, mate. Just having a great discussion. But thanks for joining Red Army MUFC. Really appreciate it as always. Always appreciate your presence on the stream. Dazza says, you can guess what I'm going to ask, Kieran. And yes, I will be taking calls shortly. I did promise Rashford that he would come on, because for the last few ones he's been wanting to come on, but his Skype hasn't been working. So hopefully we're going to get it working with Google Hangouts. So Rashford definitely is going to get on this stream. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But I will be trying to open up Skype very, very soon as well. Probably after I go through my starting 11. That also says Liverpool and Spurs now in for Bruno. Classic United not completing signings quickly. Exactly. It's exactly that. If you stall, if you dwell on things, there's going to be bigger clubs in the background that are going to just take it from under your nose, and that's what seems to be happening with Manchester United, and it's really, really frustrating. It seemingly happened with Ndombele as well, which links into the Spurs theme of the stream. Ndombele, Man United were reportedly really looking at Ndombele, kind of scouting him, and then we seem to have pulled out of the deal. It just didn't seem right. Patrick says, what kind of player is Savic? Ball to feet, runs in behind at the end of crosses. Well, from my understanding, he's someone who does like to run with the ball. He has a physical presence in there as well. And he's kind of like Matic. They're from the same nation, Serbia. But he's kind of like Matic, except a bit more mobile. And he's not left-footed either. But, Milinkovic-Savic does seem to like to kind of, go to yeah, you know, it does seem to kind of like to run through midfield, make those bursting runs forward, but also can do defensive duties as well. But he's a real presence in that midfield of what I can see. I think he's definitely more of a box-to-box than a defensive midfielder as well. I will do Football Hub. Thanks for letting me know. I will check them out after the stream. Dazza says, I said in the other stream that Bruno United won't happen. I think you could be right there, mate. And yeah, Christian says Pogba, Greenwood for Man United, and for Spurs, Lucas Moura. 2-1 United win. I like the positivity, Krishna. I love the positivity from you. So I am going to get on with, I'm going to, oh, well, you can see the green screen's messed up a bit. I'm going to have to just, yeah, there you go. Anyway, I am going to go through my starting 11 right now. Let me know your thoughts on my starting 11. Would you change anything? Do you think I got anything wrong? As I said, as I always say, it's complete and utter guesswork. So, make sure you bear that in mind when I do go through my starting 11. But I'm going to go through it now, so please let me know your thoughts on it. Going with David Harry in goal. Got his first start of pre-season against Inter Milan. I think it was, last week, 5 days ago, I think. 4 at the back, I've gone with Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Bailly, and wan-bissaka. If we don't get another centre-back, I think that is going to be our first choice back for next season. And I think it'll be alright. Obviously, we do need to address that centre-back role, but apart from that, it does look pretty strong. Then I've gone with Scott McTominay, Fred, and Pogba in the midfield. I love it's got Federico under there. I love the touch there. Bit of Brazilian flair. But yeah, obviously I've gone with Pogba, Scott McTominay, and Fred. And then I've gone with Chong, Rashford, and Mason Greenwood up front. I feel like Mason Greenwood, after what he did against Inter Milan last time, will get a decent. Will probably get a starting spot. Very, very hot today, guys. Again, Chong as well did look very, very good against Inter, so I'm hoping he can, he can do that. And Marcus Rashford seemingly gets a start in every game. So yeah, that's it. I can't really say much about that. That's what I'm predicting anyway. As I said, if I get it right, then I'm going to give you all 50 quid. If I get that all right, then you can hold me to that. Because there's no way I'm getting all that right on absolute guesswork. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Killer Kati Games says, I can't see it, to be honest. I'm knocking on a bit and need binoculars to see it. Oh, I do apologise, mate. I do apologise, Killer Kati Gaming. Hopefully me going through it, you should be able to know what it is. Let me know what you can't see. I do apologise if you can't see it. That's probably just my layout of it, to be honest with you. It might be a bit small for you guys watching. So I do apologise if that's the case. So yeah, that's my predicted 11. That's my kind of just stab in the dark 11, if you like. But I think that'll be very, very, positive, a very exciting 11 to watch. A lot of pace, a lot of flair in there, and a decent defence as well. So I really want to see how one of our strongest teams we can put out will compare against the Spurs team as of right now. Yes, there's still a few more weeks until the start of the new season, so even if we don't shape up as well against this Spurs side, there's still a bit of time to correct that. But if we do put out a strong side and we get a good result, I think that'll be decent. So there you go. There's my starting 11. Christian says, main thing is to stop Kane and Moura and Son. Well, of course, we haven't really talked about, the main threats for Spurs, but you guys seem to already know the main threats. Obviously, Lucas Moura had a brilliant game against Juventus, and in the Champions League against Juventus as well. Harry Kane, of course, with the amazing goal he scored. He is always clinical. And, Heung-min Son, one of the most underrated players in the Premier League last season. Probably one of the most underrated players in the Premier League for the last few seasons, really. Been really, really solid for Spurs. Always putting in some really, really good performances. Been one of their most consistent performers. And he is one to look out for, of course. And he'll probably have a lot of fans out here in Shanghai, even though he's Korean. Patrick says, I once remember betting against Van Persie coming to United. 50 quid. 50. Oh, Patrick, I feel for you, man. I feel for you. But at least you got all the good memories of Van Persie coming to United and doing what he did, winning a title in his first season, something which he could never achieve with Arsenal. Always good to laugh at Arsenal. Just, it just distracts us from the horror that is Manchester United at the moment. So it's good to laugh at Arsenal. Killer Clay said, not your fault, I'm an old bastard. Well, yeah, mate. That's why it's going to happen to all of us. It's going to happen to all of us eventually. Christian says, I want our Superman De Gea in action. Totally agree. I think the more game time we see in pre-season, the more time we're going to see David De Gea. Hopefully, his confidence will continue to build. And hopefully we see the De Gea that we saw in Mourinho's second season rather than the De Gea we saw last season. Although, if he could produce a performance like he did at Wembley, I'll be all for that. I'll be all over that. Patrick says, if I could relive the Sir Alex days again, I know, mate. I know. If I could relive the Sir Alex days again, I don't know how much I'd pay. 50 quid, probably. Rashford's back. He says the Kieran 11 is De Gea by Lindelof. All right, it's just naming the 11 there. So if you can't see the 11, there is the 11 in the live chat right there. Rashford, I do know that you wanted to call in on the Google Hangout. So if you do want to call in Rashford, please do it now. In fact, I can call you if that'd be better. I will call you in on the Hangouts. I'm hoping that my phone doesn't die on me. Patrick says, so as Ollie says, formation is 4-3-3. I mean, that's what I'm going with. Some people say it's more of a 4-2-3-1. But I think it can change. I think it can change a bit. I will. Hold on. So I just need to get up. Whilst we go through it, any questions or anything like that you have, please make sure. Make sure you leave them in the live chat. Thank you for the music. I don't want to get copyrighted. Sorry guys, it's just getting the Hangout sorted. There we go, right. Hopefully now we can get Rashford on the stream. Hopefully everything goes to plan. I'm going to turn my camera off there. Welcome Fergie United, thanks for joining, mate. Killer Clatchy says, all these £50 you spent, more money than Woodward. Probably is as well. Probably is. That's a sad thing, it probably is. The Football Hub says, oh yeah, guy, I'm going to do a Premier League vid about 11 about Antoine Griezmann. Make sure you do check it out on the Football Hub. But welcome to Rashford. Welcome Rashford. Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Really, really happy I can get you on the call. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Decent. Very, very warm here. I'm not sure how warm it is where you are, but very, very warm here. I think temperatures today.
It's warm.
Yeah. I mean, I think temperatures today reached about 32, 33 degrees where I was.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think in England, I live in Manchester, so it's still
Oh, of
hot.
course, yeah, of course. In the best footballing city in the world. Some would say, but.
No, apart from Man City.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Welcome, Philip. Thanks for joining as well, Philip Anderson. He says, "What do you think the score will be?" I will reveal my score prediction very, very soon. And yeah, please do leave a like, by the way, as I talk to Rashford, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. The first thing I'm going to ask you, Rashford, going into this Spurs game, what players in particular are you looking out for?
I think McTominay is key because, McTominay, De Gea, Lindelof, they're all key. But because if you look at the Spurs, the 11 they're going to pull out, you are going to see Sissoko and Ndombele, who are friends and dues in the France national team. If you watch, they are going to break through a lot. Especially that midfield is important because Ndombele, if you watch his football, he likes to, take the ball from the back and driving forward to see the forwards who is getting in. And I think Heung-min Son, that number 7, is good at that. Like, he's good at reading his midfield going forward. And I think it's important that we get that midfield right.
Well, exactly. It's going to be, I think he is going to be very, very key in that position. And Ndombele as well, someone who is, scouted by Manchester United, well, reportedly anyway. It's going to be very interesting to see, what we missed out on in that sense. Philip says, I'll give you a like if you say who's your favourite player right now. Mine is probably James or Greenwood. I mean, I'll go with Mason Greenwood just because he's on a hot streak right now, and I really do enjoy seeing the young players play well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him play again. Tomorrow afternoon. And Christian says, I will go with a 4-2-3-1 formation. De Gea, Shaw, Lindelof, Bayern, wan-bissaka, Pogba and Scott McTominay, Martial, Mata, James and Rashford. Very interesting indeed. Very interesting indeed there from Christian. I think I'll go with that as well. But Rashford, yeah, as we're talking about Mason Greenwood right now, what are your thoughts on him so far? And do you think, realistically, Mason Greenwood can break into that first team next year?
Well, why not? Like, Messi, if you watch Mason Greenwood, and you look the age he is, it's ridiculous. 17, and setting the world on fire. Like, cannot believe he's 17. And remember how Rooney was and how Messi was when they were 17. Like,
exactly.
And on Twitter I was replying, I said, I'm not comparing him with Messi or Rooney, but watch how Mason Greenwood is making a breakthrough. And you watch how Rooney is making it. Like, we are not talking about it much, but if you look, he's making a very quick breakthrough, and I think some of us will be surprised of how he will be. For me, if he is to stay in Man United without going on loan or staying in the youth team, I would say Solskjaer will usually use him as a super sub, as he called himself.
Exactly. No, I think you could be right. I think Solskjaer, of course, as you said, was basically the king of the super subs. But yeah, I think Greenwood next year could be used as a really effective sub, especially, running its high legs at the back. But Rashford, one thing I'm going to ask you before I let you go, what is your score prediction for the game? How do you see it planning out?
I think I will go for 1-0, because I think it's going to be very tight, because Spurs are actually a very good team now. If you watch them against Juventus, even though it was a friendly game or something, they was very good. They were very good, and I think they won Juventus, and they played Juventus so much also. So I think it's important also to watch Man United and see how their fitness is, and just see.
Yeah, right. I mean, 1-0, and quickly, who do you think is going to get the goal?
I would say Martial, because I think he's going to come on and score a goal. I think, I would see McTominay assisting a goal for Martial. I just can't see that, I see that.
Well, there you go. Well, hopefully, a good win, and obviously Martial getting on the score sheet. Nothing wrong with that. But Rashford, thanks for calling in as always, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, before you go,
go on.
I want to say something. Look, tomorrow, watch wan-bissaka and him instead. You will see something beautiful. I can't wait for that,
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
You see two stubborn footballers. He's very good at dribbling. Let's see how wan-bissaka will pocket him in that side.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. That is going to be a very fascinating battle indeed. It's going to be decent.
Yeah, let me leave you now.
All right, Rashford. Thanks for calling in, buddy. Really appreciate it. And hopefully have you on again. Really do. And thank you very much for the support as well. There is Rashford Jawara. You guys will know. Absolute hero. Philip says, I'm 17 as well, so it's nice to see someone so good at my age. Exactly. Well, I mean, I'm 18. I feel completely useless. I mean, I wish I was that good at 18 and not sitting on my arse at home doing nothing. But anyway, it's all right. No. I wish I was a footballer, man. I mean, not saying I wouldn't want to do this job, because obviously, that'd be brilliant as well. But it's not really a job, is it? But if I was in the Man United team, I probably wouldn't be able to talk to you guys, but I'd be able to get some inside scoops anyway. But yeah, I wish I was a footballer. But yeah, Mason Greenwood's living the dream. We're getting a call in from my man Jack, so we're going to answer that in just a second. In fact, we'll answer that now. Why not? Hopefully, Jack is on the line. By the way, welcome Killer Clutchy, or not welcome Killer Clutchy Game, but well, welcome, yes. But he says, I bet he plays Jonesy. He's world class. He scored that header. Probably wasn't a header. He might have pulled one of those out. One of those gargoyle faces out that scared the ball into the retreat, maybe. But yeah, it was a bullet header, to be fair to him. Of course, you got to give credit where credit's due. But Jack, thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. The Football Hub, if you guys don't know, in the chat, make sure to check out his channel. Really, really good stuff on there. But Jack, how you doing, my friend? Hello? Decent. Well, yeah. So, look, can you hear me? Hello. All right, cool. All right, no problem. I thought that was my microphone gone then. But anyway, Jack, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
First of all, first thing, like I asked Rashford, who are you looking forward to seeing in this game? What player in particular are you looking out for? Or what players?
Twanzebe, James, and Wan-Bissaka. I think they all three kind of. I know they all two of them count as new signings, but Twanzebe kind of counts as a new signing because of how much we haven't used him and how much we're going to use him, I think, this season. So he feels like a new signing to me.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I remember, last few pre-seasons, he's actually been one of the standout players. And I mean, there is speculation he might be going back to Aston Villa to get more game time. And if that is the case, then fair play to him. Hopefully, he does continue to impress and he does continue to progress his career. But yeah, I think Tuanzebe, he's definitely someone to look out for in that defence, especially when we need, we're such in need, or so in need, sorry. So much in need of that centre-back. You also mentioned Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, obviously two new signings. I'm going to bring this up. Rashford made a decent point. What are you expecting from that battle between Son and Wan-Bissaka?
I'm expecting Son to get absolutely battered by the spider.
I hope so, mate. I hope so. Hopefully he gets battered. I love that nickname as well. But yeah, so obviously it is only a pre-season game, and I mean, I'm not sure what your thoughts are, but I think fitness is really the key. So obviously playing Spurs, do you think playing a high-level Premier League team like Spurs will give us a good indicator of how some of the newer players will be able to cope against Premier League opposition, or do you think it's a lot different in pre-season?
It's kind of a bit of both because we're learning how we have developed over the summer against the likes of Spurs, who are actually doing quite good. So we know if they're upgrading, but pre-season, a lot of players are really just getting their fitness back up, and obviously the likes of Lucas Moura, Lucas Moura is playing, but for Liverpool, they won't have a lot of their players because of Firmino and all of those people out on international duty. So it'll be a big loss for Liverpool, I think. But I think it's sort of a test for us, but you can't really take it as a Premier League match because they're going to be better in the Premier League because the team's going to be 100% fit. Mostly, I think they're going to be 80 to 90% fit at the moment with our team, but I don't know what about Tottenham because I don't keep an eye on their games, to be honest.
Yeah, that is true, and I think, I think definitely from pre-season, there's only so much that you can realistically tell. I think you did make a good point there. Also, I want to talk about as well Mason Greenwood. Obviously, talked a bit to Rashford about him. How impressed have you been by Mason Greenwood this tour, and do you think he's going to keep up his hot goal-scoring streak against Spurs?
To be honest, I think he'll play the second half because I think Ollie wants to try out some stuff with Martial, Rashford and Lingard. So I think he'll keep him for the second half. And I think he'll be such a player in the second half because I can see it. I can see it written in the stars. Tottenham, tired legs. They won't do what we do and switch team at half time. Mason Greenwood run throughs and scores, I feel like.
Yeah. Sorry, oh yeah, no, he does seem a quality player. He does seem a quality player. And as I said, also just quickly as well, I wanted to ask you the same thing I asked Rashford. Do you think Mason Greenwood has a chance of getting into that first team squad next season on a regular basis?
It's hard because I like Mason Greenwood, but he's 17, so he's got a lot of time. So we don't need to rush things. But if Solskjaer and the player and all the staff think he's ready, then maybe ease him in. You can't rush these things.
That's true. I mean, sometimes you can get too overexcited and then rush into things, and that wouldn't be good. And finally, what is your score prediction for tomorrow's game?
3-1 to United.
3-1 United. Who are you going to score the goals for United?
I think Daniel James will finally get his goal.
That'll be good.
I think Lindelof's going to get one. And Mason, probably.
Yeah. Continuing the streak, that'll be decent. I mean, those 3 goal scorers, I'd absolutely love that to happen. Obviously, Daniel James getting his first goal. We live in hope for Daniel James. Hopefully, he can finally find his goal scoring feat. But, Jack, thanks for calling in, mate. Really appreciate it as always.
All right, yeah.
And, make sure you do check out the Football Hub as well. Really, really good stuff. But thanks for coming on, Jack.
Yeah, it's alright. I'm just going to start editing this video for the Griezmann situation because there's some news coming out if no one's known. I won't spoil it in case you're going to go over there.
Oh yeah. Well, don't spoil. I mean, there's probably loads of you guys, probably loads of people in there are going to go over. So make sure you don't spoil it. But yeah, we'll be over there, and make sure you do check that out as well on his channel, the Football Hub, if you don't already know. But thanks for calling in, Jack. Really do appreciate it. And as I said, really, really good callers tonight. And, there probably is going to be one more as well. Philip said, to be fair, Jones scored a good goal, but he's shit. You remind me a bit of Mark Goals from the United Stand. I know what you mean. I mean, it's very, very similar to kind of what he does as well. And I do take inspiration a bit from him as well. Evidently, with the live content stuff, I think that's a really, really good idea, and it's almost revolutionised because now everyone's doing live content. If you look at most of the fan channels are doing live content, so it's revolutionised the way people kind of think about making videos. So fair play to him. Killer Klatchy has called us a lot better on here rather than the Gormless on the United Stand. I mean, I don't actually know. I don't really watch the United Stand that much, really. So I'm going to take your word for it. Man United Fan TV says thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching Man United Fan TV. Thanks for joining. He says Man United have changed since last season. They have changed a bit, but we'll only really be able to tell, when the full season starts. Rashford says on the United Stand, some eat the mic. Well, I mean, as long as people are sharing their opinion, I'm sure it's all right. Chris says Pogba in the first half is a goal, and in the second half, around 80 minutes plus, Mason Greenwood. There you go. Pogba scoring as well. That'd be. I mean, I'm sure the fans in Shanghai would go absolutely mental if that happened. Rashid says Mason Greenwood will be a gift that keeps on coming, but we as United fans has to get the pressure on him right. Exactly. We can't put too much pressure on him. He's someone who we have to kind of ease in and help in this team because he could potentially be a very, very good player. Philip says, guys, in here, I'm actually from Norway, so I like Solskjaer extra much. Well, there you go, a bit of a Norwegian correspondent on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, that's really cool, actually, watching from Norway. He says he lives 30 minutes away from Oslo, so I'm going to the Man United match versus Crystalline. Hey, we've got a reporter on the ground. Philip and Anderson, the reporter on the ground. Actually, thinking about it, that last name definitely sounds very Nordic, thinking about it. So that's very cool. TTX says Mason Greenwood looks more capable than Chong and Gomez. Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful for them as well, but Mason Greenwood in this pre-season has seemed to have really stepped up to the plate, and hopefully he can continue to do the same thing. Killer Klatchy goes 3-1 Spurs. I've sensed a disturbance in the force. Oh, Killer Klatchy Gaming 3-1 Spurs. There you go. A first loss on pre-season. Maybe that'd be a good thing. Maybe it would make some of the players wake up if they are in a bit of a honeymoon period. But they shouldn't be. But still, they might be. Rashford says, I swear if we keep Mason on the bench, he'll end some careers before he turns 18. I swear, imagine such a player keep coming on in the last 20 minutes. Exactly. Hopefully he can be that impact substitution. And hopefully he can become even more than that, because I think he has that in his locker. Killer Cloud says, can't stand Griezmann or Neymar. Overrated prima donnas. Couldn't agree more, mate. Could not agree more. Griezmann making I mean, what sort of arrogant tosser do you have to be to make a documentary about yourself, about a transfer saga surrounding yourself? I mean, no one cares, mate. No one cares that much to watch your stupid documentary. I mean, I'm sorry, but that is probably one of the weirdest things I've seen a footballer do. It's just modern football, eh? Modern football. FullFan148, thanks for joining. As I said, you can never be late on this stream, so don't worry. Don't worry. Daz, I've got Skype open, mate. So I could potentially try and call you and see if that works. So yeah, you know what? I'll call you, Daryl. Always nice to get Daryl on the stream. So I'll call you and see if that works. Hopefully you can pick up. Patrick says, Kieran, a personal question. Do you have any siblings? Which team do they support? I think it'd be nice to have a couple of people on the sofa or something going forward. I think that'd be a great idea in my opinion. Well, you're right, I do have siblings, and of course they all support United. I mean, we're a United family. Oh right, sorry, yeah. Oh, that probably came up. I do apologise, Daryl. I should have told you it was Skype. Don't worry about it, Daryl. Though the good thing is we've got you here right now. But yeah, Patrick, to answer your question, I do have siblings, of course. I'm not sure if you've seen Big O already on the stream. You've probably seen him a lot. He obviously supports Manchester United. I've got a few other siblings as well. We're just a bit of a Man United family. So, I mean, to be fair, it would be good if it'd be very hard to convince them, to be honest with you, to do that. But we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe. If this channel grows, maybe they'll want to get on it. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But yeah, good idea, and thanks for the idea. And if you guys have got any further ideas for the channel, please let me know. But to answer your question, I've got 3 other siblings, all support the mighty Manchester United. Of course they do. Yeah, well, there's a third one as well, who, well, he's technically in his 3rd year of university, so, yeah, but he's back now, obviously, for the summer holidays. But yeah, enough about him. Philip says, but on another thing, we really need to sign a centre-back and Bruno Fernandes to strengthen, or else we'll end up behind Arsenal. I swear to God. I cannot have one more bullshit season of United behind. Exactly. I mean, that was depressing anyway last season, being behind Arsenal. I was so disappointed we couldn't capitalise on the fact that Arsenal, got absolutely battered 3-0 against Leicester. We couldn't even capitalise on their faltering form because we couldn't beat teams like Cardiff. So in the end, we didn't deserve to get top 4. But it's a new season. We're going to try and leave all the bitterness and angriness behind. And we've got the perfect man to do that. Daryl Johnson is with us. Daz's football stand, if you don't already know. Really, really good to have you on once again. Always a pleasure, Daryl. First thing, as I asked Rashford and I asked Jack as well, any particular players you're looking out for in tomorrow's game? Hold on, Daz. I don't think they can hear you because I've got the fader down. Sorry, guys. That again. I've done that again. I did it last night. I forgot to do it again. I do apologise. Guys. Daryl was talking there, making some very, very good points. So, if you want to start again, you can, but you don't have to, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just talking about.
Right.
If you couldn't hear Daryl, we were just talking about what players what players he was looking out for in tomorrow's game. So yeah, take it away, Daryl. Take it away. This time they can hear you.
All right, take 2.
Oh,
Greenwood, as I said, Greenwood's got a natural gift for the game. He's the gift that keeps on giving, whilst Phil Jones is the gift that keeps on giving away goals. Brilliant, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, but Mason Greenwood, the thing with him is, he's young. He's my age. I was nearly about to say your age, but I think you're 18, aren't you?
I wish. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were, yeah. Oh, well, nearly your age then.
Basically.
Basically, yeah. But, he's playing well. He's got 2 games where he's got 2 goals, Leeds and Inter, of all people, win the game. And I never thought I'd hear that story being written. Greenwood wins the game for United at 17 years old. It's a bit like Messi, isn't it? Messi, at a very young age, joins Barcelona and then, scores goals galore. But Messi's obviously irrelevant because we're talking about Greenwood, who's, I'll admit, not Messi's quality, but I think everyone knows that.
He's close enough.
Close enough, yeah. I mean, he's one of the main features of tomorrow's game. If he scores against Spurs, and I know there's been rumours before saying, he's in contention to start against Chelsea, first game of the season. If he scores against Spurs, I think he could do it against Chelsea. I seriously do. He's had a fantastic pre-season so far. Just keep going. If he doesn't score in this game, it's not the end of the world. At least he knows he's got a few goals to his name, and for the senior team as well. There's also Daniel James. Daniel James so far, he's been quite good actually. He still hasn't got a goal, which is obviously disappointing. But as you said before, it's early days, and he's still getting used to playing for United. Because we play a bit different style of play to Swansea, because Swansea can't even get out the Championship. Though I'm saying that, neither can bother. But to be honest with you, Daniel James, he's got the pace, he's got the quality, just doesn't have the finishing touch. And of course, I don't think Chong's going to start. I think he'll probably come on in the second half. I think Martial will play at left wing, and I think James will play at right wing, switch wings around, and put Mason Greenwood as the centre forward. So I don't see Rashford starting either. So it's a bit controversial ideas. But if we beat Spurs tomorrow, and it is today, well, we'll beat today in about 2 hours. But if we do beat Spurs, I think that's a good sign going into the Premier League, into the actual season. And I think it gives us a good boost for the season. So, this game could decide how good we do this season. So, if Spurs win, Spurs are going to have the upper hand in the Premier League. If we beat Spurs, then I think we go into the Premier League season, and obviously the remaining games against what are they called? Kristiansand or something in, I can't remember their name now, in Norway. Which will be good. Oh, there you go, Kristiansand, that's it. Which I think Philip Anderson said he's going to. And that'll be an interesting game because, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's back in his home country, and obviously, we're not against Moldova, obviously, but he gets to see his home country again, which is something that's going to be nice for him. It's going to be a nice return to Norway for him, and then of course, we should win that game, in no question at all. We should beat them. I think we can beat Spurs. I think it'll be a tight game now. Should be Kristiansand, and then it's all on to the final. I believe not the final pre-season game. I think is it the final pre-season game against Milan?
Yeah, I think that one is the final one. Yeah.
So that's the final International Champions Cup game, which I am going to for once. Don't know. I don't know how I've managed that. I somehow managed to get tickets on Ticketmaster.
Not
top
bad,
quality.
not bad.
Still, yeah. Well, the match is next Saturday, and I still haven't got the ticket through the door yet.
Right.
So top quality, but I think I'm looking forward to the Milan game being entertaining. My first actual United game without watching Borough playing against them, which has happened twice. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do against AC Milan. If we beat Inter, we beat Leeds. I think we were always going to beat them anyway. But Spurs, quality team, Champions League finalists. If we beat them, then that's a good boost going into the season. I know I've repeated that a few times. It's been a long day.
It's fine, yeah. Well, no, it will be a decent little boost. Even though it is pre-season, I think, winning against one of your Premier League rivals, it can't be a bad thing. A few comments here. Philip says we effing lost 4-0 to Everton, but I'm really positive on United development this season. Come on, United. Well, I like the positivity at least. Patrick says that'll be great looking forward. I think I was here from 300 subs or something. I'll be mega proud when this channel grows. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Patrick. Really appreciate it. And it's you guys that make this channel grow. So you should be patting you should be patting yourselves on the back, really. So thank you very much for your support. Yeah, I do apologise for the first bit. You couldn't hear Daryl there again. Rookie error on my point. Should have learned from yesterday, really. But anyway, we'll move on. Patrick says Chong should go on loan, not battle ready. It's some people would definitely agree with you. Some people say he was not physical enough. I think against Inter Milan he was very good, but of course it is pre-season, so it's difficult to judge. But in person,
he just needs more game time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would feel like Chong. He's a decent young player. Definitely got a bit of potential there. Maybe it would be beneficial for him to go on loan. Maybe one season potentially in the Championship or somewhere, or even in another league. Maybe that might be good for him. Or
he can come to Teesside. Oh
yeah, good signing for Borough, wouldn't it? Be good signing for you guys.
It would actually. He's quality.
He's not. Well, I think he would fit in actually in the Championship, but we'll see what happens with his future anyway. Philip also says he's going to be sitting behind the players' bench against Christus and Open pronounced.
That's what I do on the home games.
Yeah, it's best seat in the house. Anyway. Maybe you could get a bit of an interview with Ollie then. That'd be good. But yeah, Daryl. I'm a bit conscious of time. We've been live for nearly 50.
I did my Mourinho. When Mourinho was up.
Oh, right, yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, we've been live for nearly 52 minutes, so I'm a bit cautious of the time. So, Daryl, I want to ask you, mate, how do you see the game going tomorrow? What is your score prediction?
Right.
And who are your scorers?
It'll be a tough game. I think it'll be very tight, and I think it'll be one goal in it. As I said with the Inter Milan game, and I was right, there was only one goal in it. I was just wrong about the score. So I think this time, I think there'll be quite a lot of goals. I think it could be a goal-fest game. There's obviously going to be Kane, Son, Ali, Dembele. I see he's going to play probably. Greenwood, I hope scores. And all other players. So I think it'll be a goal fest game. I don't know why I'm going to think this. 20 spots has put it'll be penalties. The International Champions Cup games, I think, do go to penalties.
Yeah, I think if it's a draw at the end of 9 minutes, penalties it is, which will be a very interesting test. But yeah, go on, Daryl.
Don't ask why. I'm going to go for 4-3 United.
Oh, that is an out there prediction. But I like it.
I just think it's going to be probably one of the best games in pre-season history. It's just going to be one of those most entertaining games. I would class this, if it was me, if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now, I would treat the Spurs game as the Premier League final day.
Right, yeah.
Final game of the season against Spurs. Treat it like a cup final. We might actually put in a decent performance. I know. That people don't realise is everyone's saying how bad we did last season, and we didn't do good last season under Jose Ole, but we had changes, different styles of play because we had to change manager, which I don't think helped the squad at all. I think this season we'll keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think we'll get through the full season with him, and then we don't have to change different styles of play, different players around, and just keep players in their natural positions. So I think the good thing is we don't have to switch managers all the time, like Chelsea.
Exactly. But yeah, I think 4-3 to United. What a game that would be. But I'm looking forward to it as well, Darryl. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope your prediction is right. Out of all the predictions, respect to Rashford and Jack for giving your predictions, and all you guys for giving your predictions. But I have to say, if Daz's prediction comes off, I mean, we're in for a hell of a game. But yeah, Darryl, thanks for coming in, mate, and thanks for joining in and calling in. As always a pleasure to have you on the
No
channel.
problem.
Really appreciate it. And yeah, have a nice evening. And make sure you do check out Daz's football stand in the description down below. But Darryl, have a good one, pal.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Cheers for coming on, as always, Darryl. And thanks to all our callers tonight. Really appreciate it. And thanks to you guys in the live chat for putting your, getting your voice heard on the stream, because that's what it's all about. Welcome Football Crew Show. Thanks for joining. Check out his channel. Really, really good kit reviews as well. I forgot to say that in the last stream, but make sure you do check out his channel. Really, really good kit reviews, football content, all that sort of good stuff. And he says this pre-season match versus Spurs should be an interesting game. Totally agree. Should be a fascinating one. Patrick goes with 2-2. Will there be penalties? There will be. And he says United should field all their players as a Premier League team, and Ole should test everyone. And it is going to be a test, and I'm hoping the players can stand up to that test, and hopefully it's going to be an intense game, because the more intense it is, the better for the fitness. And with that, I'm going to leave. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate all your support tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow for the review of the game. So make sure you are active on this channel after the game, because I will be posting my review. So make sure you do check that out. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in a bit, and keep up the support, because it's absolutely amazing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.